Good morning, this is Jeff Arcos. Welcome again to the daily webinar. Today we are 16th of October 2019. Remind you this webinar is not meant to be a financial advice. This is only an education presentation. Please consider them a condition before you continue, saying when you're receiving this recording as well. Thank God for another day into my life, and I pray for His blessings today. In Jesus' name, amen. All right, so we got to date on the 16th of October. So on the news side, we 6:30 p.m. tonight. Seems like we have CPI with the pound. The pound reacted positive as we were expecting anyway. And then we have that at 10:30 the CPI with the Canadian and U.S. core retail sales, both that after midnight. We don't have much of that to deal with it. Okay, so let's go through our there. I have changed it again, my workspaces. I think I still like this one. It's quite good. And then of course I will bring my this one. I can see the 1 hour, the 4 hours, which is whatever is there. So we're looking on the dollar that we did have a breakout. Now, something interesting as well on breakouts is that how much a breakout match the changing of the color. So when to know what kind of breakout to take or no is very interesting. So the dollar is going on that direction, and let's put it a little bit over here, and the twin plots with the dollar. So it's still on the sort of sideways market. So the dollar is still weak today. So that's all we can say with the stop loss. So we got it at an entry. See what happened with the target. We got a I said I don't know whether the first target should be the one to get it about or no. It's very hard to say. All right, so on the Euro US, we got first of all a breakthrough, which was over there, pull back, market comes over here, and everything looks quite positive with a weak dollar. So we look in the euro strengthen up. At the moment, everything is in the sideways move, and that's all we have at the moment with this one. So that is there. I came to the midpoint. Sometimes I like it, sometimes I don't like it. So, but anyway, so we are in the midpoint with this one. And if I would have got to the 1 hour, yeah, would be nearly the same. But there we are. All right, British pound. As we say, we were, continue expecting a quite clean breakout from that. The pound is still in the number 7 and didn't change. So everything is, whatever pullback it was over there. This is the pullback we did have. So we closed the trade last week, which very nice 176. The market re-entered it again, looking on the 1 hour time frame. As the market retraces, goes there. Now we are on break even again. So sometimes, like I say, these trades are closer exactly at 6 to 6:30 Saturday morning. When I see 100 pips about, I decide if I have few there. That's why we ended up with 1,000 pips last week, just because of one day move over there. So the things still continue now. I don't know. So if to have a target would be in here in the weekly. So that would be my target, my final target for this one, which is if I go into here, that Fibonacci would be this one over there, and the target will be very close to the 1,000 pip levels, which is if it is around here, um, yeah, it makes a lot of sense. It was a level of consolidation, so that's the next target over there where I can get it. And so if I get this level over there, pick the number from there, come over here, visit there. Oh, it's very close to the 1,000 pip level, so I'm just gonna setup over there. So that's the same 10,000 pip level. And yeah, so we'll see from there. Now I can change to the 4 hours time frame. Getting into that trade, that's for some time, you know, um, sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not a good idea to change. But that was the setup for this one over here. All right, Australia is not doing that good. Australia is, and the index is still indicated quite a strong sort of kind of move, but Australia is no, it seems like it only has some kind of there. So we did have last week a nice setup over there, which is, that was on the 11th of October, which was there exactly, and the market did trade from there, and and I got a stop out somewhere over here. I think this is where I got a stop out. Um, I need to review that one there, but yeah. So at the moment, the market is is coming back. So therefore, at the moment, I'm looking for an. This is my first swing high low. So as we discussed yesterday, you know, we're looking for um, when the market breaks the swings over there. So that was the bearish swing, and then we have the bullish swing. So one of my expectation is that the market might come to here, and tomorrow we will have a swing higher. We're still looking, you know, maybe looking to trade over there. So I'm still holding my buy position in the EA. I'm looking in the 1 hour for an entry. So the only thing I do over there is, so I'm looking here at the long position. I think at midpoint got triggered and got a stop out over there. So reset my account. So this is, I believe, yeah, I put it both. I think when it's a retracement, the Donchen external is the safe way to enter over there. So what it does, if here I'm looking to entry, the EA will look into entry and right over there. So I'll see that one there. So Australia continue on the bullish move until today. New Zealand gave us a bearish signal yesterday, but I believe that it's not playing game now. One of the things that I always, you know, we need to, when we see these ones here, we need to keep in consideration is where the dollar is going before. You know, I did took the trade based on where we were over here and based as well on the New Zealand bearish that we've been having the New Zealand bearish. So based on this one, um, yeah, it might took trade. Now, what is interesting, see if I run through the currencies quickly, it shows you a trick in that with the index, which is quite good over there. But here we see the market is going sideways. It's definitely is going sideways. It's going up and down. So the trade got executed, but it got a stop out as well as it was here in the midpoint line, and yeah. So let's say so waiting now for a new entry, and I will not be looking anymore for anything now. So I'm gonna put a no trade, wait for the next signal because I don't see at this point of time to look for anything. So both are going weak. So we're expecting this one should go up in any time from there. The U.S. Canadian, we have now, you know, we after that break over here, so we were looking last week at this level of resistance, and it's what is you know, I always keep maintain about this level. So when we look at that's the 11 on the U.S. Canadian, and if we look in 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, so it was somewhere over there. So we did have Canadian and there, but I think in this meter we did have a very strong um, index over there. So that's the 11 of October. So when I'm looking in here, the 11th of October, it was right there. So based on what we see, we are on a resistant level, but the most important part is the three things what the automatic EA will be looking. So if we review what the fully automatic EA will be actually looking from here, I hope so. I saved that PDF. Scale from a family base on. Is this one here? No. Oh, this one there. So if we're looking in, I sent this work last week about that. So what the EA will be trying to look is the trend color has turned from red to green. All right. So that's mean that from green to red it has turned here. Um, in this case. So the other thing is the cross of the Donchian midline. So the price is closing that date over here at the beginning of the day has closed below to the midline. So we got that, and as well we got the index meter pointing us, the yen is weak, the New Zealand is strong. So it will read the index meter over there, and then it will be activate the trade. So that's some examples of how, and we can actually, if we don't want to be involved with that index meter, we can disconnect the index meter. We can disconnect the things. It's gonna be quite good of what we can connect it and disconnect it. Let's say we only want to trade the color, then the Donchen will trade the colors only. We don't want to trade the midline point, and the Donchen will trade the midline point. So it's gonna be quite a few options to do that. But this is when exactly the EA will come to that day. Look over here, and you need to find one of the index, or the US index or the Canadian index has to match this number over here. So when that happens, that's where the trade is being executed. So Canadian, we got the trade, we got the break even, and this is now the re-enter over here. So as the market going up, 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 and breaks below, and this is in the 1 hour. So when I'm looking, my entries from the 4 hours to the 1 hour. So this is definitely, I know what I'm looking from here. So when I come over there, just set up in the 1 hour time frame. So if this one was the first entry, which is we did, and the market got to break even as the market moved that on the pips that we decided. So now we got the entry over there. That's my stop loss. Now I can go to the 4 hours. So as you see, I got a quite nice entry instead of waiting for that. So that's a quite distance, 34 pips from there. But that's where I can get it. Got the stop loss in place, and yeah, today just continue trading as the U.S. Canadian is very strong. The U.S. is weak, so makes now much sense. Now, how far this will go, this has been quite interesting. Now, what I like in the monthly is where we have that, and the market has come back. So one of the things that we say yesterday is the beautiful trend line breakout, which is definitely that a trend line. The market has come back over here. Is having problem over there. So that's a very long target. So if where we are now to where it's supposed to is a 500 pips move. So that's in the big long-term move. So on the weekly, we definitely have that the breakout of the weekly. So everything is pointing us. So we're looking here in the weekly. The Canadian is very strong. So that's it shows US is weak, Canadian is strong, as if we're looking over there on the weekly candle close. So therefore, from here, we got the day, we got everything up there. So this is the pullback where we could call, and even today could be a good day to entry. Even if you go to the 1 hour time frame, the EA will look to entry right over here with a stop loss of 30 pips, let's say, over there. So when we look in 30 pips risk, now this is the criteria said, okay, here I have a maybe expecting a 500 pips move, and if I risk 30 pips times 3, I put in the settings on the EA that said I want to risk, in these trades, 30 pips. I got 40, and I want to risk times 3, So even that is 120 against 500 pips move, is quite good business at the end of the day. So that's how I look that one here. The US Swiss, we did not have anything, as these things are still going nowhere. So as you see over there, is there. Now when we're looking in here on the US Swiss, that's why. So both are going in the same direction. So when is this happen? You know, it's sometimes it's very hard in the US Swiss as you look over there. You know, it's not nice. That's actually the only one. Before we used to try pound Swiss, Swiss yen, but everything related with the Swiss is very spiky, and we don't like it. You know, US yen, as we were looking at here. So this is now, as we say, what again is interesting over here. You know, one of the things that I like it in the what we call the rejection points. You know that are over here is you can activate trend lines as well. So if you want in trend lines over there, so the moment you activate trend lines, the EA always will go and look, you know, the two last sort of kind rejection points, you know, uh, it looks the last one, go to the back, find a higher, find a lower, and draw the trend lines automatic. I don't like that one myself. I like to draw my own trend lines because I know where to draw it. So but that's an option that you can have it over there. So this is, you know, based on 3 candles. So when I see this there, I like to, you know, very simple. I'm a trend line trader no matter what the years has come. And I like breakouts from there. So when you look in that breakout over here and you said, okay, uh, uh, um, so that's a break. So that's on the 10 of the 10. And then I come over here and I said, okay, what happened on the 10 of the 10? We're looking at 7, 8, 9, 10. So at that moment, the yen was going, you know, from strength to strength. So this is, we didn't know what this is going to happen. But the thing is that the yen is strong and the US is going sort of nowhere flat. So that was for me a good decision right over here. Now, the most important part is here where we look at this trade over there. And that's the 10 of the 10. Now, if we look in the criteria of the EA, so at the beginning of this day, what we have first, we have the color has changed from red to green. We have the midline, which was resistant, now is support. So therefore, that trade can go from there. So that's how, you know, very simple can be taken. And yeah, so that was the trade, and now it's continue. We took profits with this one last week as well, and here is a 24 pips. Now re-enter again on the 1 hour. If I would have set up in the and then I do that, I can put in my last there. So I'm looking and say, okay, I'm risking, you know, 40 pips from there. So we're going to the 4 hours. This would be the entry in the 4 hours time frame. So I save 12 pips at the end of the day. But when I'm looking there, this is the beauty of changing the time frame. So finds a nice entry. You can measure, you know, when you are over here, you can measure, say, yeah, 40 pips is enough. So now you can readjust it, and that's now a nice trade to continue. Because as I say, this is possible resistance, but what is possible resistance only is telling me is when I have here the confirmation. You know, so at the moment I'm looking this move, and this is where my focus is. Now we have a nice ABC on the weekly, as we can see over here, A, B, and C. And that is giving us now a new target that we can actually aiming for that. And from where we are when the market took off is at 300 pips, you know, that, you know, so we have 40 pips now on the place. We already made 23 pips, so that means we're risking around 20 pips to gain 300 pips. That is a nice business over there. Now, every time I'm looking at target number one, I want to see a common reason why. So this is definitely was an area of sort of kind of resistance. I don't know whether it's going to hit over here, it's going to hit over there, but this is my average that I have in there. And this is, you know, I'm happy to take in that. So on here, I would say that my target I can do in the daily here. So this is on the 1 hour. So go to the 4 hours and move over there. So try to find, yeah, that is enough. So if I look over here, this is the weekly target. I haven't set up yet this one I need to do it. So that's my target number one. And this is where we say that's I would be happy today. We got 1,000 pip levels. Normally 1,000 pip levels are brick wall, but this is what we have so far at the moment over there. So now I can go to the 4 hours time frame, leave it over there, and not to worry about. So it's a target of 255 against 40 pips. That's quite nice trade to set up at the end of the day. Now, all the yen crosses, we said yesterday, we're looking for just a pullbacks over there as we focus on the move. And again, where did everything started? So we're looking one dot and another dot over there. And we want to see, okay, the first breakout there, this is a quite ambitious breakout over here. So when I'm looking the 8th of October, and the 8th of October was there. So I see at that point, maybe yes, maybe no, but when I'm looking in here and I say where the euro yen was on the 8th of October, this is the 8th of October over there. The euro is climbing up, the yen is as well sort of kind of in the same direction at that point of time. So I'm not that convinced. We got a change it there. As you see, we did not have any high momentum over there. But what I like it is here is the next, when you come into the line, then we have ABC. So every time we have this ABC, ABC everywhere over there, is always is the turning point of the market over there. So when I look at now the 10 of the 10, things actually are more clear. The 10 of the 10. Now I see different. As you see now, definitely it is a support level. We look at the 250 pip levels over here. It's working as a nice kind of support. And that was a quite good trade. Now we did a target over there with the euro yen, which it worked quite okay. So that was there, coming the market target, 114 pips, and now the re-enter. Now this one I forgot to change into the 1 hour. If I would go to the 1 hour, my entry would be over here. It's just things happen. Now sometimes on this one, I have to really change this one. I prefer the 24 instead of the 20, but this is sometimes is gonna happen that you're gonna be triggered in here, and then the volatility comes and stop you out. So that's what I prefer to have, maybe 20, 25 pips, 30 pips. So if I gotta stop out once, the next one entry over there. Anyway, so this is right over there. This is that my next entry. So now I have another, all the yen crosser has a quite nice ABC setups. So, and that's a nice target where I'm looking. If I look over there, I can see that it's very close to this double top over there. So there. So we'll see if we're getting there. So, and there. Pound yen, and yeah, the euro yen at the moment, the euro is still in the strong, the yen is coming down. So now with the pound yen, yeah, it's very clear. That was a nice retracement over there. So, and that is the entry right in the midline. So now it's about to get the target, straight away. So I will not move because that's a 300 pips target. So unfortunately, it's coming back. So it's you need to just hang it there and see that normally Asian market makes these things moves in that direction. And yeah, so there we are. Okay, so we'll see that one there how it works. Um, There, so that was the first 300 we did last week in one day, which is there the market retrace over there. So this retracement was made on the touch. So the market come touch over there, put the stop loss, and now it's moving on the way that we're looking to move from there. So that's it's already, if I close now, it's in the 222 pips. So that's a good start for the midweek, but that's there. Australian yen is not that strong, so we're still looking now. Look how beautiful it is when you connect the dots. and even if I connect that dot and this dot, how easy is that connecting the dots, and from that, the moment you connecting the dots, that it is. So the 10 of 11. So when we're looking over here, what happened on the 10 of 11, and that it is the 10 of 11. We got that one there. Market moves, comes back, and by that time, it was already there. Now, if we're looking a day before, and we say this is my first dot, the market did have an ABC set up. So if we look in the 10 of the 10, and sometimes this could be a bit aggressive, and there. So everything was already changing from red to green, the midline, everything over there as well. It could be took, and when we look in the Australian yen, um, if 7, 8, 9, 10, so that was the 10. So that's what that data, remember, I hesitate that entry because we did have some consolidation, and in the yen at that moment it was still in the strong, so that was there. So I have to wait, and I'm not worried about waiting, one more day. But when you got this now kind of moves like this one, then you can see that I'm sorry, the 11, that's there, yeah. So then you can see things are very clear, and that's where this one's is going at the moment. So here is waiting for entry. Don't know whether to go to the 1 hour to look. So the 1 hour would be a bit spiky. So I prefer, sometimes I have that, I just want to leave it into there. And the 20 is the one preferred for the 4 hours, and just wait for the break. New Zealand is a bit bearish, but I believe it will come up as the yen definitely is still there. So that it is, the market is already moving into that direction. And again, so we connected the dots, and we're waiting for a good day breakout, which it was over there. And again, same day. So as you see, it's important to keep it there. So that's there. The market went up, come back over there, and now it's playing. So we got a quite nice today, but I don't think so. The New Zealand, it isn't any move to go up at the moment. New Zealand is still on the very side. So even looking this beautiful setup that I see over there, I don't have the strength. That's a quite bullish candle. So yeah. So I prefer to wait for the breakout over there. The market yesterday went down. Now it's in the midline, so maybe it's not quite decided. So we can avoid that currency until the next time to see what happened. Canadian yen, and again, how cool is just to join the dots. As I say, look, if you're wanting in this one, as I say before, you want in that um what are you? This, you can just connect that. So what's gonna happen when we're coming in that day? Um, the and we're coming in this day. What is gonna happen? Right over there, the EA will draw this line here. So that's what is going to happen. Not the EA, the indicator will draw a line over here. So suddenly we got a day up like this one with the Canadian yen, and then yeah. So this thing, because it keep just shifting to the next two. So it looks always to the next two rejection point, the next two rejection point, and that's all it does. So that's what I mean. I like to prefer to draw my own lines, but this could be a quite helpful tool for anyone who wants to, I don't know, I don't want to say lazy, but anyone who like to have something like that. So the tools are there for that. So, and it draws, the color and everything what is support. But the day over here, that it is two dots, market comes, breaks. How important is to wait for the rejection points to draw your lines, and there it is. So that was, even before that, it was already there. So should I be taking consideration that on the 10 of the 10? So the only thing I need to go is just go back and have a look. There, as you see, we already go from red to green. This one it changed, you know, it's that was, so when I measured over there, I said, okay, 40, 50 pips, you know, this is my risk that I have over there. Everything, it looks, you know, quite good. So come in the Canadian yen on the 10 of the 10, and we can make our conclusions from there. So 7, 8, 9, 10. So at that point, both sort of the Canadian went up sideways and this one was up. So maybe this index would help us to make a decision in that date over there. So definitely the next day, the 11, it was the more clear, you know, sometime there when I see that, I have no problems to execute those trade. Oh no, things start frozen now on my computer. Oh, you join. So why? All right, I cannot bring my other platform, so let's continue looking at that. Euro Australia. So we got the euro in a quite big, strong. Australia over here. Um, so that's where we are over there. So the euro is weak, Australia is weak. So, and that's why. Look how, you know. So if I connect the dots, this is the wonderful, you know, work that we can do if just, you know, connecting the dots. Look, that break, that's my entry, that's, you know, my next stop loss. Then connect the dots again over here, and we did not have any serious break, you know, something there. Connect the dots back, always going to the last two rejection points. We did not have anything that spike us over there. Connect the dots, normally will go like that. And yeah, so that's now Euro Australia is being a bit difficult as we're looking over here, even as today. uh, we got that sort of kind of euro has come a little bit down. The Australia is picking up very strong, and last week it was actually quite bearish on the monthly high, and this is where we are. So, and here we see the fractals, you know, still there. So yeah, we very easy to get good up over there. So it's better to wait somebody outside the room from here. Always I'm looking, you know, what I'm looking as well with this one is follows the direction of the fractals. When that fractal is lower than all this fractal up, you know, everything is about support resistance, you know, shopping levels. This is when you can say, yep, that's what is for me. Every time I see, and then from that moment from here, you see the fractals down, down, down. But when there is no more fractals down and suddenly things changing over here, this is when everything is safe. So it's a very simple visual thing to look that one there. When you see the fractals from that point going up, 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 sideways, down, this is when you look in there. The market from here comes down, down, up. And this is when we're looking over there. And now as we look over here, it's going down, it's going up, it's going down, it's going up. Here it was a quite good, you know, I was expecting this data, but when I look at that candle, the candle did not ended up quite positive, even with a fractal up. So then we have a candle down over here, a fractal down. So if we're looking all of these sideways, that's a fractal, nothing happened. Now the market went up, and but the candle was not quite good. So that's that, like I say, just waiting for a good candle setting up. Now sometimes I have candles as here is up, but everything is still on the bearish side. So what I want to see is when I see the first candle up, I want to see everything change too, you know, like in this case over here. So that's what I have signals that the moves could be very very brutal, and as I say, even the midline is a nice cut, enter back again, and a nice cut. So just very simple way of continue into a trend like this one is just by following the fractal. So that's what I don't see much in the Euro Australia at the moment. So I would have preferred just to hold my breath in that one there and wait over there. Now, as we're looking over here, up, 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 now we are on a sort of way down. Now, the problem with the Euro Canadian is the European crosses at the moment is a bit. See, the Canadian is having a very, very strong momentum at the moment. So we see here that the euro is weak against the Canadian. Now, when I'm looking in here, the euro is in the bottom list of the weekly. The Canadian is, sort of kind of there. So we don't see the euro is that kind of weak. So we're looking over here is a very yak moment through that. Never mind. This is where we are over here. So so here, if we're going to if we say it at the beginning of this week, look, this is what it says to me. They're trading over there. We're going to the 1 hour, and an entry should be yesterday over there, placing that trade as it is in that. So the days are not finished quite good now. If I look the fractals, so this is not the fractal but the rejection point. This is two rejection points. We do have a break on this date over there, so we did trade that break, and we got to stop out with that break at the end of the day. That was a nice resistance level, nice break over there. And the problem in Friday, it was that the euro was coming down. Canadian, that's on the 14, and that's the 14 over here. So that's what we were looking. Was a perfect setup, and but it didn't go through. So now where we are at the moment is telling me here that the Canadian is strong, the euro is sort of kind of weakness. So euro Canadian should be one to be looking to try short, and I haven't set up yet a short. So the only thing I do over here, so I measure my risk is 70 pips and set up a sell breakout from that, and 70 pips and stop loss. Um, Break even 100. Don't change. Um, I can set up the midline as my trailing stop with a 50 pips. So that's mean that it will follow the trailing stop in this one over there. So we'll see how that happened on here. Euro New Zealand. Now the problem that Euro Australia don't seems like it's not going nowhere. The Euro New Zealand is not going nowhere. That's what I got. The Euro New Canadian might have trouble to follow. Normally these three, Euro Australian, Canadian, New Zealand, follows because the tree has a commodity driven. One other thing I noticed is that when this one, for example, move up, and like in this week, the market is moving up from there. Um, and if we're looking at right in that same momentum up, the euro, this is the Euro New Zealand. Euro Canadian will tend to go up, and Euro Australia will tend to go up as well. Even if that's retraced, normally these three currencies tend to move together on the same direction. So if we look at that's the first fractal down from there, and even from here, everything was below, everything changed over there. Then the Euro Canadian tends to already is being in the move, and the Euro Australia right in the spot over there. So this is where sometimes this kind of informations hold me with the Euro Canadian. I'm risking at the moment because I'm seeing the Euro Australia not going down and the Euro New Zealand is going up at the moment. So that could could be a little bit of trouble. And yeah, so at the moment this one does not have any driven directions whatsoever. Pound Australia, we have a gain over here. Now if we look in this Pound Australia and we try to join the dots, and we have a break over there, and you see that break over here, is there. That's in the 10 of the 11, so that was on Friday, and that's the 10 and 11 there. So that was a no problem issue whatsoever for trading that. And when we're looking, the same there, this is, yeah, this is really moving. So that's a nice breakout. So we look in the Pound Australia, and we saw that Pound Australia did move, um, right in that moment over there. The pound was just completely in his way up, and this is the most important part. So Pound Australia was a quite nice trade. So we took at 165 pips, re-enter back again over here. So we got already in a break even as the market has moved. I can come now and put in the 4 hours time frame, and it's about to get the 300 pips target again. So yeah, when this market moves, it moves, quite brutal, um, and the speed that this thing has over there. So here it was no reason, I could continue holding that, but I was preferred to close my trade. But yeah, the pound is just as strong as it is now. So once we miss these pullbacks, it's very good idea just to wait for the next move, because it's very easy to get caught up into that. Same with this one. That was a nice retracement yesterday with the pound, and again, that trend lines breakout, and there we are, pound Canadian. So we'll come over here. We're looking over there. That's the 11. Now this one has the same weight. It has an incredible pullback of 300 pips pullback. So yeah, don't get excited with the pound crosses, because yeah, you need 150 pips stop loss minimum to manage this type of currencies. So yeah, so pound went up, the Canadian is down. Beautiful breakout, 250 pip level support, but this is the change that we have over there. So pound Canadian, so just took it a small profit, 116 pips. Now re-entered back at the break over there, so didn't put in the 1 hour yesterday. The 1 hour would have get me somewhere over there. And so this is what it is now. Take the risk in the 300 pips new waiting again from this one. And the last one, pound New Zealand. Now this one, the same thing. So drawing the lines. There it is. So if I like to see the last two, this is my last two rejection points. Once we got the break over here, there we are. Okay, and here we assess the risk. So when we're looking right over there, that's the 11. So the color changed from red to green. We got the midline changes. So there is no reasons why not to trade from those trades. So we look one trade over here, and there we are. So 300 pips. I think I re-entered somewhere over there, but the move was a bit spiky. Somewhere over there stopped me out. Re-enter me back again over there, and it's going to the 300 pips again. So I need to see what was that. What was that? That one there. So as I say, this one's is look the retracement this morning is 177 pips there. So All right, so that's the pound really moving at the moment, and let's have a look what gold is giving us. So we did have this kind of retracement, a bar that is telling us we're going down. So this is in a short scenario. It's not really moving. Gold is really no. We're still looking the monthly where it is. Are we gonna shoot down from that monthly perspective, isn't it? So that's quite interesting level. Now, if I look over here, I could say, this is a nice retracement over there, so that could be a target to aim somewhere over there. So that's no bad move, but this is what we got, right? Yeah, that's a nice level of support or resistance there. Oil. So we look at that line over here. The market did have some kind of break. It's a bit undecided. We have incredible support over there. As we're looking with the oil is finding a support. So this could be a small risk, but I'm just gonna wait because my next two, this would be a line. I need a good buy candle, and then look from there. S&P 500, and again, two trend lines, two rejection points, one trend line, one break, and that's exactly on the break over there. We don't have index meter for that, but by that time we see the color change from red to green. We look in the midline, sort of kind of become a support, not necessary change, and that's the break. There is the S&P 500. So it has some issues. We're still looking of here, 1 to 3 months now. We're coming to the 4 month. It's just thinking about it. Is Mr. Trump is gonna send this one up? We don't know yet. Australian 200 normally try to follow again. So here we're looking again. Join the dots, could become quite good issue. Now this one possibly will go over here to find a line over there, but when this one happened, this would be the line drawn by the EA, and yeah, so it could be useful tool, if you really wants to give it a try. This one for many, just to have that, and that it is. So especially when the market is coming in some directions, these lines. So here it is. This one hasn't changed. So that line over there finds, and here is when you find the the line. That's a nice actually trailing stop as well. If you remember, in my time, I used to follow that as my trailing stop. Whenever the market breaks the line, that was the time to come out over there. So, and the most important in that moment, we have already the color change from red to green. The midline became there, so it was no issue to you know to move that one over there. German 30, same thing, two rejection points. This is, sometimes when I don't see a rejection point, I can see here is already a swing high. So that's for me good enough to, to draw a line, wait for the break. The break happened right over here. Nice 1000 pip level support, or 1000 level support, and that's same. The color has changed from red to green. The midline has changed them from resistance to support. So therefore, that's when I didn't watch this one last week. So I was just waiting for the pullback over there, and it seems possible this one it will go into that direction. So with the Germany, UK 100. So two lines, one line, 2 points, break over here, and that's what we have over there. So I'm waiting for the entry on the UK 100 to trade from there, because that's what the market is is telling me. We got an incredible support for the UK 100. That's definitely an area that the market might find quite good support. Might the market wants to come back and reverse from that line over there? We don't know. And yeah, so we'll see. Japanese 225, same thing. Trend lines, data breaks, 10 to 11, 10 to 11. That's our target with this one now. So that's a quite nice, definitely target that market can come through that level over there. So second opportunity always presenting the next break, next fractal over there, and that's where this one is going over there. All right. Friends 40, same thing. Trend line, two rejection points, one breakout. Everything is clean from there, and that it is. Market breaks from that. I haven't touched much this one. Same with this one. Trend line, daily the break, 10 to 11, 10 to 11, and everything is on that side. All right, so nearly 1 hour. So thank you very much for today. So we'll see you tomorrow, and yeah. So the market is moving, especially with the pound crosses, and when we see this, as I continue saying, sometimes we find these levels over there, and we don't know. As I said, this is until that point. I can consider this as a possible resistance. That's all I can say at that moment. There's nothing more I can say. This is a nice level of support. We can resist it once over there, and how do I know this is gonna come? So this is when I need to wait for the index meter, for this tool over there that is telling me, yep, this is a trade to take for me. When I find this one over here, I don't know here is gonna be any support whatsoever. But one thing for sure, even if I just draw simple trend lines, um, and I'm looking, through that area over there, look how much. So this is definitely a possible support. Now look what we got over there. Resistance has become support. Try. Now, as I said yesterday, do not worry much about your stop loss, but worry much about your target. Because this is the midline is definitely a very nice target to get. But and then we just wanting the index meter with us. We are on a technical level, and yeah, so try from try what we see more than what we believe, and this is a very simple way to look at it without much of the trouble, as the market perform. And when the market is like that, all of these are just what we call possible support, possible resistance. Um, at this point of time over there, I don't know, is this going to be a resistance or no? The only answer I have over there is right over here, and if I see it there, that's what I say. Is this gonna be a possible support? I don't know yet until I have a break on that direction. And the same thing here, it's just what is telling me over there, what is telling me over here, what is telling me over there, and again, and what is telling me over here. and then market runs. Once the market runs, support became resistance, resistance became support. Here we have the next move up, and when we have these long scenarios over there, that day, and then we have the move, and then a very easy way of support became resistance, resistance became support. Look in the move, look in the moves over there, and trade, and let that 4 hours take the trade. Okay, so we see you tomorrow. So see what the market is doing. I'll try to do the chats as soon as possible, and have a good day. Cheers and bye.